Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to TBS This Morning. Thank you so much for keeping me company as I am flying solo today. Mona Lisa is a little bit under the weather, so help me throw some sunlight her way. Good morning, Mona Lisa. My name is Alison Monrose, and we have a very thought-provoking show for you this morning. But first, let's get the day's headlines from Kendall.
Good morning. For the first time in history in St. Lucia, a sitting member of parliament has been summoned to appear before the Privileges Committee. Leader of the opposition, Alan Chasney, will in the coming days answer to two separate complaints brought against him for statements made in the House of Assembly.
I had previously ruled that in the matter involving the statement made by the member for Micoud South in relation to the member for Castries Central, that a prima facie case had been made for the matter to be heard by the Committee on Privileges. And I now appoint Thursday, the 20th of October 2022, at 10 o'clock in the forenoon for that hearing. In relation to the matter involving the allegations made by the member for Micoud South against the member for Castries South, I rule that a prima facie case has also been made for the matter to be dealt with by the Committee of Privileges, and advise that the hearing on this matter will take place on Tuesday, the 25th of October 2022 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon. The Clerk of Parliament is instructed to issue the notice and summons by Thursday, 13th October 2022. She is also to meet with all the parties involved to determine which, if any, witnesses either party wishes to summon. Once the committee has concluded its business and prepared a report, I shall summon a meeting of the full House to hear the contents of the report and, if necessary, to debate and rule on its recommendations.
The Micoud South MP could be reprimanded, censured, or suspended from the services of the House if the committee finds fault in his statements. The European Investment Bank is providing 14 million euros to strengthen St. Lucia's healthcare system and the government's response to COVID-19.
We feel that this 40 million euro loan to Santa Lucia for COVID healthcare, it's a landmark operation. It shows well how we are committed to working with the Caribbean, working in the best interest of the people, and more than millions and billions. I think what's important is to improve and keep working to have a health care that provides health to everybody in Santa Lucia. And after the pandemic, this became clear that we need to have resilient health systems that can be able to cope with this type of events that unfortunately will unfold sooner or later in the future.
The loan will enable additional COVID-19 testing and diagnosis, as well as the provision of personal protective equipment or PPE and other medical supplies to ensure adequate resources and equipment are available. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, has cut its global growth forecast for 2023 as economic pressures collide from the war in Ukraine, high energy and food prices, and sharply higher interest rates. The IMF warned on Tuesday that conditions could worsen significantly next year and said it expected more than a third of the world's economies to contract.
Just how bad is it really going to be, and how can we perhaps ease some of the downside pain?
Well, in our baseline projections, what we are seeing is the global economy slowing down from about 3.2% growth in 2022 to about 2.7% next year in 2023. So that's, the 2.7 is a downward revision from what we were expecting earlier. We're expecting 2.9, we're now expecting 2.7, so it's coming down. It's still positive, but when you look under the hood, what we found out is that about a third of the global economy is going to be experiencing a contraction, 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. So there's going to be a lot of slowdown, a lot of economic pain going down in terms of what we'll see next year, and inflation will still be somewhat elevated. And so what we're seeing is, this battle to bring down inflation is underway. It's going to slow down growth. Inflation is gradually going to come down, but next year is going to feel painful.
Economists' suggestion to consumers is to make sure they have money in their savings account, hold on to a job if you currently have one, and cut back on spending as Christmas approaches. October is Breast Cancer
so
Awareness
far.
Month,
We'll
an
be
annual
right
campaign to raise awareness about the impact of breast cancer. Health Minister Moses Shabatiste is encouraging the public to get examined and to take the breast cancer threat very seriously.
This month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you may notice a few of the parliamentarians with pink, and this is why we are wearing pink today, to associate with all of the struggles of people who have passed away, their families and so on, to associate with the medical professionals who work to ensure that we reduce the incidence of cancer in St. Lucia and breast cancer. We encourage everyone to do their breast examinations. Men also need to go to the doctor, have their breast checked and so on. We're just hoping everybody takes the whole issue of cancer very seriously.
The Department of Health will continue its breast cancer awareness campaign during October as it encourages the public to participate in its initiatives. Those are your top stories. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Thanks, Kendall. When we come back, integrated music, artistry, and mental health. Welcome back. On October 10th, the world observed Mental Health Day. The observance highlights mental health education and advocacy against social stigma. This morning, we speak to registered nurse and public health educator Naomi Grandison, known in the artistic circles as Ngozi. Ngozi has for years used for her platform to bring awareness to the importance of mental health. And she's doing so again with her new release titled Your Own Song. Good morning, everybody. I am joined here with Naomi Grandison, better known as Ngozi. How are you doing this morning?
I am awesome. I'm bringing the sunshine, that's the vibe.
I can see that. Now, I've heard that you have a song out known as Your Own Song. Could you tell me a little bit more about how that happened and how that collaboration happened? Because it really is a wonderful song.
Thank you so much. As a matter of fact, I was really just meditating and sort of like reflecting on my journey as an artist and someone who's passionate about mental health and just celebrating self. And I know personally I've gone through my own struggles in the industry as a musician and a songwriter. And I just felt a sort of like a relief, a hopefulness come over me. And, I picked up my guitar, I'm strumming, and the words just came. The melody came, the words just came, and that was it. I kind of just flowed with it, worked around with it, and then completed the song in that particular moment. And what happened is that I sent the recording. I recorded it on my phone and sent it to a few of my friends, one of them being a visual artist who is Jamaican, based in Trinidad. And a while after, he responded positively to it, and a while after he's like, Naomi, this song is just so touching. I felt it on a deep level, and I would like to do a video to it. I want to add visuals. And I was honored because he's really awesome. He's like top level visual artist. So that is really how the collaboration occurred. We know each other because both of us are co-founders of Headfunk, which is the platform for poets and other artists that was founded in 2009 in St. Lucia.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So do you find that the public has been taking your songs and running with it as you intended it to be done?
Generally my songs, or just this song in particular?
Generally your songs.
I think those persons who've been exposed to my music, those persons who know about my music have responded positively to it. I just think it hasn't been getting the airplay. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been getting the opportunity to be on very big stages as I would have liked, particularly in St. Lucia. I have gone abroad and done a few things. But I think generally I have been received positively by those who hear me. As a matter of fact, I just performed to 100 students, and they were personally thanking me and telling me they love my songs. And that was the first time some of them heard it. So I get good reviews. I just think it needs to be out there. Today, you sing your own song. Your tears will smile. You bring your own voice. The sun will rain. You shout and sing with joy. You'll run so slow, you'll enjoy the pace. You walk and swim, you'll win the race. Your song so pure, dichotomy's the only way to understand it.
Thanks for staying with us. We continue our conversation with Ngozi on mental health and why we should all be informed and take the necessary actions to ensure mental well-being. Now, I know that you are a mental health enthusiast. You're very big on mental health, if anyone knows you. So, do you believe that mental health is what it's supposed to be in the Caribbean? Because I know it's a bit of a taboo subject right here.
I think it definitely, we have a long way to go. I think we have not really embraced mental health services and speaking about mental health in a very open manner in the Caribbean, as we should. There has been some progress because we're watching media from away, we're watching American media and other countries as well. So there's definitely more openness about it, but we still have a very long way to go because of the mindset. When you say mental health, people think mental illness, so that in itself is a problem. When you say I'm going to go to a counselor, especially men, they think like, why are you going to go to a counselor? You're not crazy. Whereas counseling is just for anybody who just wants to, work on themselves and see how they could achieve their goals even better. And if they do have a decline in their mental health, that they want to get some guidance to deal with their internal issues. And so if we treat it as the way we would treat COVID or cold or diabetes and go to a doctor, they're brain doctors. They're cardiologists and they're also brain doctors called psychiatrists, which we can go to clarify what we're going through. So I think what we're going through, and if we do have an actual disorder, because I just want to say that mental health is on a continuum.
Yeah.
It's on a continuum, and throughout the day, each of us either gets a decline or an improvement in our mental health. It doesn't mean that you have an actual disorder, but if you do have significant difficulty functioning, you may have a disorder, an illness, which could be based on hormones. It could be based on chemical imbalances, and it could just be based on a very difficult situation that you're going through at the moment, grieving, trauma, being violated. So all of these things can affect your mental health, and we just have to approach it openly and stop making it taboo. Because the number one cause of disability in the world and the most prevalent mental disorder in the Caribbean is clinical depression. So we need to take it serious because we're in this room here and at least one of us has experienced debilitating depression. I know I have experienced it for sure. So it's just about being open. That doesn't mean the person is weak or they cannot contribute or they would not get over it even. So that's why I'm passionate about it.
Yes, I believe that mental health in the Caribbean is a big stigma, but especially here at home, we have people who go through a lot of traumas and they don't seek help because they're so afraid of what their friends would think, what their family would think. And I believe that we should all just, let's forget what people think and get help for ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we have to focus on us and we have to heal ourselves because there's too many broken people walking around.
I'm so happy you mentioned that, Alison. Honestly, I used to work at Turning Point, the Alcohol and Drug Rehab Center, and a lot of the reasons the persons would not come is because they would be chastised and humiliated for being at the institution or coming to the institution. Whereas our culture should be one of, wow, you actually went for help. It's like you went for help, you crazy. So we need to shift the way we approach situations. And furthermore, we need to also realize that it doesn't matter what people say. What matters is, are you getting the help or are you staying in denial and suffering more? So if you love yourself, you will find the help where it is, that the one that is available to you. And we have the 203 hotline 24/7 that anybody who's having difficulties can call. I have met people personally who have just had a chance to offload to somebody that they don't know and it's confidential, and get some clarity about some referral that, you know, okay, I have a mental disorder and this is how I need to heal and this is how I need to manage. So we do have that. We also have the crisis center. We also have the wellness centers where there's a mental health team. I just wish that more support will be given to those programs because people may reach out and we need more resources, more counselors, more services with the police to assist with these other very severe disorders where the person is out of touch with reality completely.
I believe that mental health is not only about being sad. You might not even know you're mentally ill or you have any issue because you might just say, you know what, I'm not sad, I'm not crying, I'm fine. But it's not about being fine because a lot of our relationships suffer because you might have a personality disorder or something that you're not even aware of. But when you speak to those persons, the psychiatrists, the counselors, the psychologists, you are able to then understand yourself a little bit better. So I agree with you. If you love yourself, you would seek that help because you not want to have a full understanding of who you are as an individual, right? So do you have any advice for any of those who are struggling out there who's afraid of coming out and seeking help?
You know, as the song says, it's your own song. It's a song that speaks to today. You sing your own song. So all those, the tears, your tears will smile. It's a hopeful song. It's an encouraging song. It's a celebratory song. So it's a song that tells you that for you, in order to sing your own song, you have to step out of the darkness or step out of the denial, step out of what people are saying and move towards the resources and the services that will help you. That is the only way you're really going to experience a true celebration of yourself. You're really going to experience, as the song say, flying high. Yeah. You have to overcome those things that are drawing you down in order to fly high. Yeah. So focus on that and get the help. So I also want to say that one of the things I had to learn, and a lot of other persons had to learn, is to refuse to accept that somebody else is responsible for my suffering, for my condition. It's somebody else, some other supernatural force, which has caused me, and so I have no power. Claim your power. And your power is in accepting that there is a problem, even if you don't know what it is, and going to find out from those persons who have some experience what is going on. And this is what I have to say today.
Thank you so much. But before you leave us, could you just link all your social media so anyone who's interested in contacting you personally or you're finding your music?
Right, so Ngozi, which is spelled Ngozi 758 on all platforms. So you go to Instagram, you go to Facebook, you go to TikTok, Ngozi 758, or you could type in my full name, which is where you'll get all my songs, because there are so many Ngozis in the world. You could type in NaomieGrandison, and as the people say, just Google me. It's not Grandison, it's Grandison.
Well, thank you so much again for joining me. It was a very interesting conversation, and I hope the solutions out there are taking heed and listening to the words that we said, because it is very important.
Indeed. Thank you for having me.
my beautiful people, welcome to another episode of Ali's Corner. My name is Alison Monrose, and honestly guys, it makes me really happy when you send me in your submissions. I really love to see you create work, and it gives you an opportunity to be featured on Ali's Corner. Today I'm going to be featuring this viewer's work. It honestly made my day when I received it, and I really appreciate it. So I believe that you should try your hand at whatever craft you are able to do. Today, we are going to be creating a wall decor, if you will. So for this art, you would need a canvas, your paints, a design of your choice. This is mine. Keep in mind, it should be line art to make it easier for you. Needles of your choice, a paintbrush, and thread of your choice. I would recommend either yarn or crochet thread or embroidery thread, as they are a little bit thicker, so it'd be easier to see on your canvas. So let's get started, shall we? I'm gonna open up my canvas because, you know, it's the package. All right, now that I have opened everything, we are going to push everything else to the side, and we're going to look at our canvas with our paints. Now you're going to decide whichever color of paint you would like to use. I am going to stick to a more green theme, although these colors, well, 2 out of the 3 of those colors don't look like green. I'm going to be using them to create different shades of green. So you're going to get your paints, and then you're going to paint any random shape that you'd like on your canvas. It'll be used as a background for your line work to come. I mixed yellow and green to create the light green. And I mixed blue and green to create this more of an emerald green, if you will. Now that we have finished our background and it has completely dried, we are going to take our design and place it on top, directly where you want it to sit. Even if it is not even on the paper, you need to even out your design, because this is the most vital part. If you are younger, I would recommend using a 7cm knitting needle, as it is not sharp, so it's a little bit more age appropriate. But I still recommend parental supervision. So once you have your design in place, you can either tape it off, but unfortunately I do not have tape right now. And you are going to take your needle and you are going to pierce the paper and your canvas. It may be a little hard, so I recommend the faster you do it, the easier it would be. You need to try to keep it as even as possible, because this will be the holes that your thread will be passing through. If you are having any difficulty piercing through the canvas, you could raise it so it allows the pin to pass through easier. If you are using a duller needle, you can use something to help push the needle in. Example, a bottle, a rock, a hammer, anything that you wish. Just give it a little bit more pressure to pierce through the canvas. All right, now that our background is ready and all our dots are in place, we are now going to start the fun part. You are going to take your needle and thread it with your desired thread. In this case, I'm using yarn. Once you have done so, you can use your image as a reference, and you are going to do your stitches in. I am only using one thread, so I am not tying the ends together. So we're going up and down, up into the next hole, and down. And you're going to keep going until you have finished your image. Alright, this is my final product and I hope I get to see yours. If you would like to be featured on Ali's Corner, you can send me your creation at 733333. And I hope you had a great time learning this art because I think it came out really beautiful. I'll see you next time. Bye! Alright, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And before I let you leave, I came across this really good quote that will just might inspire you. Just because no one else can heal or do your inner work for you doesn't mean you can, should, or need to do it alone. Now, I know a lot of you think that sometimes when you're sad or when you feel down that you need to handle your emotions yourself. Although you are the one who can make yourself happy, it is okay to confide in someone else and allow them to help you get through your emotions. But I wish you have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye.